My name is Jordan. I'm 32 years old. And for most of my life, I was that person. You know the one. Person everyone calls when their life is falling apart. Need rent money? Call Jordan. Need a ride at 2 a.m.? Call Jordan. Need someone to fix a mess nobody else wants to deal with? Yep, call Jordan. I was the reliable one. Peacemaker. Problem solver. And honestly, I wore that title like a badge of honor. Because I believed that's what love was. Showing up. Sacrificing. Giving. Even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt. So when my niece suddenly needed emergency medical treatment, there wasn't even a question. I drained almost $16,000 from my savings without blinking. Savings can be rebuilt. A child's life can't. For weeks, I lived in hospital waiting rooms. Cold coffee. Sleepless nights. Constant anxiety. I sat beside my sister while she cried. I argued with insurance companies. I postponed my own bills. I put my entire life on hold because family came first. That's what I believed. And when my niece finally started getting better, I felt relief wash over me. Like surviving a storm. I honestly thought we'd all gotten through it together. Then 1 week later, I opened Facebook. And my stomach dropped. Photos everywhere. Pink balloons. Matching family shirts. A huge celebration banner. Smiling faces. Everyone looked happy. Caption said, "Surrounded by love. Family first. Family first." I stared at those words. 'Cause everybody was there. Aunts. Uncles. Cousins. Family friends. Literally everyone. Except me. First, I figured there had to be a mistake. Maybe I missed the invite. Maybe the message got lost. Then I checked my phone. One text from my sister. Just one. "We need positive energy right now. Please don't come." That's it. No thank you. No explanation. No acknowledgement of what I'd done. Just, "Please don't come." I sat there staring at the screen. And something inside me snapped. Not in an angry way. Not even in a dramatic way. It was more like waking up. Because suddenly I realized this wasn't about a party. This was about years. Years of saying yes. Years of putting myself last. Years of proving my worth through sacrifice. I didn't argue. I didn't send a paragraph. I didn't beg for answers. Instead, I booked a one-way ticket. Somewhere warm. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere nobody needed anything from me. The next morning, I switched my phone to airplane mode and walked barefoot along the beach. No notifications. No emergencies. No guilt. Just waves. For the first time in years, I could breathe. 5 days later, I turned my phone back on. Big mistake. 32 missed calls. Dozens of texts. Group chats blowing up. Apparently everybody needed me again. Funny how that works. The moment I disappeared, people noticed exactly how much I had been carrying. Bills weren't getting paid. Responsibilities weren't getting handled. Problems weren't magically solving themselves. And suddenly everyone was panicking. My mom texted first. "Sweetheart, your sister is overwhelmed." Overwhelmed. I just stared at that word. 'Cause I'd been overwhelmed for years. The difference? Nobody cared when it was me. More texts came in. "Family doesn't keep score. Why are you doing this?" She's going through a lot. And that's when something finally clicked. Healthy love doesn't keep score. That's true. But recognizing a pattern isn't keeping score. It's called paying attention. For years, I confused exhaustion with loyalty. Silence with peace. sacrifice with love. I wasn't angry anymore. I was awake. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. A community page shared my niece's recovery story. People started reaching out. Old neighbors, former teachers, friends, complete strangers. Not because of the money, not because of what I'd done, 'cause they saw genuine care. And for the first time in a very long time, I felt seen. Not as the fixer, not as the helper, not as everyone's emergency contact. Just Jordan. One evening, my sister called. I almost ignored it. When I answered, there was silence. Then she quietly said, "You made me feel like I failed." Closed my eyes, 'cause underneath those words I heard something else. Pain, fear, pride, maybe all three. I took a deep breath. And I said, "I never wanted you to fail." Silence. Then I added, "But I can't keep disappearing just so everyone else stays comfortable." Nobody had a response for that. Call ended. No yelling. No dramatic apology. Just truth. A few weeks later, I rented a tiny cabin by a lake. Nothing fancy. Just trees, coffee, and silence. Every morning felt different. Sunlight through the windows. Birds instead of notifications. Peace instead of pressure. I started journaling. First, I wrote about the hurt, the disappointment, the betrayal. But eventually something changed. I stopped writing about what people took from me and started writing about what I wanted for myself. Peace, joy, balance, hi, freedom. Then I wrote one sentence that changed everything. I deserve relationships where love isn't measured by what I provide. I stared at those words for a long time. Then I wrote another. I deserve a seat at tables where my presence matters more than my usefulness. That hit hard. Because for years I'd been fighting for seats at tables that were never built for me. Tables where love came with conditions. Tables where value had a price tag. Tables where silence was expected. But somewhere between the beach, the cabin, and the quiet, I realized something. I didn't need permission anymore. I could build my own table. One filled with honesty, respect, kindness, and people who wanted me there simply because I was me. Healing didn't arrive through grand apologies, didn't come through revenge, and it definitely didn't look like a movie ending. Healing arrived quietly, in morning coffee, in healthy boundaries, in choosing myself without feeling guilty. People say peace changes everything. Think peace reveals everything. Because once the noise disappeared, I finally heard my own voice again. And for the first time in years, it wasn't asking, "How do I save everyone else?" It was asking, "What happens when I finally save myself?"
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.